Festival de Escritores de San Miguel de Allende 2013. San Miguel de Allende tiene joyas invaluables en su arquitectura, en sus recintos y en su gente. Aquí en esta ciudad se encuentra una galería, la Galería Atotonilco, en el Camino Antiguo Ferrocarril, exhibiendo diferentes importaciones de lugares reconocidos, donde se respira la originalidad y un buen gusto. Ahí, la directora del Festival de Escritores de San Miguel de Allende, Susan Page, compartió con nosotros algunos instantes para hablarnos de los preparativos de este festival, que tendrá lugar del 13 al 17 de febrero del presente año. Fue como aprovechamos la calidez y el recibimiento de nuestra anfitriona. Se le cuestionó un poco sobre sus experiencias personales en la realización de este festival, y fue así, con esta amena charla, que nos invitó a disfrutar de este festival. Los dejamos con esta entrevista.
This is the 8th year of our conference. We started 8 years ago with a very small conference, but we realized that San Miguel de Allende is a world-class destination, and we have a long history of distinguished writers working and living in San Miguel, so we thought we should have a writers' conference. And we started 8 years ago, and it has built and built. Every year it's gotten bigger and stronger, and we have been able, I think because we're such an appealing international location, we have been able to attract some of the world's most distinguished writers right now. Last year we had Margaret Atwood, Elena Poniatowska, we've had Barbara Kingsolver, Tom Robbins. This year we are very happy to be featuring Juan Villoro, who is a very distinguished Mexican writer, along with Luis Urrea, who grew up on the border and writes about Chicano and border issues. He wrote a book called Into the Beautiful North, which is about a Mexican family trying to go to the north. And so we try to focus on issues that are cross-cultural. One of the distinctive things about our conference is that we are tricultural. We always have participants and faculty from Canada, the United States, and Mexico. So we call ourselves the creative crossroads of the Americas, because we try to be genuinely tricultural. Your viewers should know that most of our speakers present in English, but everything in the conference is simultaneously translated into Spanish with earphones. So the whole conference is bilingual. And when we break into smaller workshops, we always present some in Spanish. So we really welcome Mexicans. We started, gringos started it, but we now, our steering committee is half Mexican and half gringo, so we try to be genuinely bicultural. The entire conference takes place at Hotel Real de Minas on the edge of town here in San Miguel de Allende. We have keynote addresses that are open to the public. So even if you don't come to the whole conference, you can buy a ticket for these keynote addresses. The one by Juan Villoro. We have keynote addresses by Juan Villoro, Lawrence Hill, who is a Canadian writer, Luis Urrea, a Chicano writer, and Cheryl Strayed, who's quite a delightful personality, and she was #1 on the New York Times bestseller list with a memoir about her solo hike for 6 weeks on the Pacific Crest Trail. That's a fun book, and she's a fun person. And then Mary Morris, who's a travel writer, who wrote a memoir about being in San Miguel de Allende in the 80s. So that's a story about San Miguel way back when. And then we have a panel of women writers talking about writing memoirs, and many of them are distinguished writers. So all of those sessions are open by individual ticket. So you can either participate in the conference come to the entire week. It starts Wednesday at 6 o'clock and goes through Sunday evening at 8 o'clock. That whole week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have keynote addresses and many workshops. So the workshops are mainly for people who would like to improve their writing skills. And we always offer some workshops in Spanish by some wonderful, wonderful teachers. Jorge Hernandez is teaching for us, and other teachers. And Juan Villoro. So that's really what the conference is about. It's workshops for writers, and then it's keynote addresses by very distinguished writers. And those keynote addresses are open to the public by a single ticket admission. Well, it's more English speakers right now, but we are working to move that up to 50-50, to half and half. We have some wonderful Mexicans working with us to promote this conference to the whole Mexican audience, because we're taking place in Mexico, so we really want Mexicans to come. And your viewers should know that we have special pricing for Mexican nationals. And the information about that is on our website. Our website is www.sanmiguelwritersconference.org, all spelled out. And it presents in English, but there's up in the corner you can click on Spanish, and the Spanish website comes up, and there's information on there about scholarships available to any Mexican national who's a writer or professor or student. We have very different pricing for Mexicans because we know that gringos live on a very different economy from Mexicans. Well, we've gotten a worldwide reputation. People love to come to San Miguel, and they love to come to our conference because we combine the best of everything in a writers' conference. We have outstanding keynote speakers. We have wonderful workshops. We also have agents, literary agents, who come down from the States, so that if you're a writer, you can present your book project to a literary agent face to face. And that really only happens at a conference like ours. So when we invited Luis Urrea, who's the Chicano writer, he wrote back and said, "Oh, I'm so excited to have this invitation. I've been wanting to come to your conference for years. I've heard about it." So our reputation is spreading, and people really like our conference. That's a great question. For me, it's a lot of fun because I like to organize things. I was born to organize, and I just love, I like working on committees. I like this conference is put on by a team of very hardworking, very capable people. And so my job is to find those people and get them excited about working with the conference, and then to support them to do their work. But I mean, it's these committees that do all the work. I am very involved with inviting the faculty, and that's great fun because I have email correspondence with these famous writers, and I usually invite them out to my home when they come here. So the whole thing is wonderful fun for us. And we are always looking for volunteers to become involved with helping us to promote the conference, helping us to select faculty, helping us to think up what types of workshops we need. So anybody who's listening can contact us if they're interested in volunteering. We just have a wonderful time organizing it and having our little meetings and making all the decisions about what the schedule is going to be and all those details. It's a lot of fun. And we have a huge victory party at the end of our conference. We have a big volunteer party. Last year we gave Academy Awards for, to honor the volunteers. Let's see, I think we have 60 faculty members. So that's writers coming from really all over Canada, the US, and Mexico to teach workshops and give lectures. 60 faculty, and we have just about 60 volunteers also. Volunteers who help register people and keep the conference running smoothly. And we have, so that's about, during the conference, about 60 volunteers. And then the steering committee for the conference is about 25 people who have been working all year on their various committees to make this all happen. Maybe 25 that work all year. That has been a challenge in the past because, mainly because we haven't had time to give to that, but this year we have quite a wonderful person who volunteered to help us get sponsors, and we're doing better this year. We have always had help from the U.S. Embassy in Guadalajara, from the Canadian Embassy in Mexico City, and this year we have sponsorship from a wonderful travel agency in New York City called First in Service. They are providing us with a number of airfares for our distinguished faculty. So little by little we're getting more sponsors, but really most of our budget comes from registrations. The Mexican, Rosa Beltran, who is a professor at UNAM, will be on our faculty this year, and we're very happy to have her. They provide us with faculty, and they help promote our writing contest among Mexican students, but they don't really help us with sponsorship exactly. But we do have good connections with the universities. For the contest? Well, we do run a writing contest, both in Spanish and in English, but the contest is over now. We have 3 winners in the English language. We have a fiction, a nonfiction, and a poetry winner. And what they win is free admission to the conference. And the same thing for Spanish-speaking writers. And that contest, I think, is finished now. It's too late to submit anything now for this year. But anybody who's listening to this and who would like to enter the contest should get ready to submit an entry for next year's conference. And what you win is free admission to the conference. So it's a good contest. Oh, yes, yes. We attract people who are interested in getting published. We have writers at all levels of skill and experience. We have beginning writers all the way through to people who have been published. And everybody learns from the workshops because we all learn from each other. We're all writers together for 4 days. So sometimes the best thing you learn is from somebody you talk to at lunch or just during a break. So we're all writers and we all learn from each other, and the workshops are very valuable. But in our workshops, we try to cover all the different genres. We have workshops on memoir, poetry, fiction, nonfiction, how to create an anthology, and so on, and then how to get published and how to find an agent, and different aspects of writing fiction and nonfiction. So how to develop character in your novel, what are the mistakes that people make in plot, and so on. So the workshops cover a wide variety of topics. We have 58 workshops, and any one participant can choose 7, because we have 7 times for these 90-minute workshops, and each time we offer 8. So it's 56 workshops, and if there were 2 at the same time that you wanted to go to both, it's okay, because we record them all and you can buy a CD of the one that you missed. It's important for people to know how to register and where to buy tickets. So you can buy tickets on our website, individual tickets for single events, and you can register for the full workshop on our website, www.sanmiguelwritersconference.org, all spelled out. Now, you can also buy tickets in person in the courtyard of the Biblioteca here in San Miguel, Mondays and Thursdays from 11 to 2. Mondays and Thursdays from 11 to 2, starting in January. So all throughout January and the first 2 weeks of February before the conference begins, you can buy tickets in person, and that's a lot easier for some people. Our registrar is there in the courtyard of the Biblioteca Mondays and Thursdays 11 to 2 in January and February for buying single ticket events and registering for the conference, and you can also get information that way, or you can register online. We should also tell the dates of the conference. It's February 13th to 17th. And the day after the conference, on the 18th, we offer a full-day workshop, more like an intensive workshop, in 7 different topics. And for Spanish speakers, there is a full-day workshop with a wonderful, wonderful teacher. Jorge Hernandez is teaching a full-day workshop for writers on February 18th, so that's the day after the conference.
Deseamos mucho éxito en su festival.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
Para terminar, solo queda decir que los esperamos en este Festival Internacional de Escritores, el cual tendrá lugar en nuestra hermosa ciudad, San Miguel de Allende, Guanajuato.